Today I'm going to give you a life on the road. This is a typical day of my walking and such. I've just spent a wonderful couple of days with Joe and Gary up here near Marton, but I'm now back on the road, and so therefore I'm going to just show you some snippets along my way. So this is quite a typical road that I sort of try and walk on, these sort of country lanes where the actual traffic is quite minimal, and you see a car every now and then. I try and avoid, wherever possible, more busier routes where the cars can be quite frequent. The verges aren't quite as nice and wide as they have them here, and it just gets a bit scarier. So this is a typical country road that I tend to choose to walk on. So I'll keep giving you snippets throughout my day, and then we'll tie it all together so that you have this wonderful idea as to what I do on a regular day. And today I'm heading towards Nontron, and I hope to stay there tonight. And I'll show you as I approach the village, because I don't actually have anywhere planned to stay there, how I go about praying and asking for someone to be there to welcome me in. So stay tuned. So every now and then along my walk, I come along these little villages. This one I believe is called Poivrier, and it just breaks up the countryside a bit, and you get these wonderful little places that you can walk through. Often they're a bit cooler because there's more trees and things about. So it's not all just open countryside. The very typical scene along my route. I'll come to some small little village and there'll be a wonderful church spire sticking up. The churches over here are often massive compared to the population that actually they serve, but they're always exceptionally well maintained. Sometimes my route takes me through these little paths, these tracks that go between farms and such. They're public rights of way that were created after the revolution, when all the aristocratic lands were divided up amongst the people, and sometimes their barns and their houses and things weren't always that close to the places that they were allocated as parcels of land. So they made these tracks and these paths so they could get all their produce into the barns that they have. So now occasionally my map takes me along these routes, which are quite lovely at times, and sometimes they get a bit rough, but as you can hear, it's not the sound of tarmac under the feet, but unpaved roads. And it's lovely because you end up in these often wooded areas, which are always a relief from the sun and the heat. Today has been a really good day to really show an example, all the different types of landscapes that I've been going through in France, from open farmland where you can see for miles, little villages and all that sort of thing, and now it's taken me into proper forest woodland, which is absolutely delightful. So a really varied landscape today, which reflects the fullness of what I've been sort of traveling through over the last few weeks. This is the busiest type of road that I ever try and walk on. I try and avoid these as well because the speed limits are higher. But as you can see, there's a really good verge that for cars coming, I can just hop onto the verge and try and keep myself safe. So I've arrived in Nontron, and it's my practice whenever I come into a city to head to the local church or basilica or cathedral, whichever it is. Excuse the noise in the background. And that's where I'll go give thanks for the day, and then I'll pray a prayer of peace upon this city. And I pray that that God would prompt someone to come across my path, and that they would respond to that prompt, and that we would meet, and then they will graciously, hopefully, give me a place to stay this evening. So I'm off to the church here in Nontron in order to do my prayers and thanksgiving for the today. It's been a wonderful walk today. Can't complain. Nothing hurts or aches, which is pretty much the first, the last couple of days of walking that I've done have been by far the easiest. So here's hoping and praying that someone will respond to God's prompt to put me up for this evening.